Good morning, Chairman Thomas, Vice Chair Swearingen, Ranking Member Sonnenberg, and members of the House Judiciary Committee. Thank you for allowing me to provide proponent testimony on House Bill 36. I testified on this same bill during previous General Assembly, and the arguments have not changed since then. I've submitted my previous testimony to the committee and respectfully ask that it be entered into the record. I won't try the committee's patience by reiterating those arguments already made. Once again, I urge you to put this bill to an up or down vote. I appear before you today to raise an additional argument, a point not previously raised. Our inaction on the death penalty has created a dishonorable situation. There are some who believe Ohio should abolish the death penalty. As you know, I am not among them, but that is in and of itself a morally defensible policy position. However, by virtue of the General Assembly's actions, Ohio does have a death penalty reserved for the most heinous criminals. By failing to keep our promises to the family members of the slain, we dishonor them. Our failure to keep our promises to juries who sacrificed a piece of their lives to do their duty is also dishonorable. The citizens who served on these juries, our common constituents, were forced to hear and see matters that would turn your stomach. Graphic and disturbing details that no one should be forced to even know about, the darkest side of human nature. And then after they listened to that and rendered their verdict of guilty, they were required to do a second duty and to weigh whether the state, on their decision, should execute that doer of deeds. They dutifully shouldered their responsibility. The state, at the moment, is not. Ohio's dishonor is thickened and set by allowing private drug companies to veto public policy, to veto the rule of law, simply by refusing to provide the drugs they otherwise offer on the open market. Ladies and gentlemen, they are defying the law that this body enacted, representing the people of Ohio. They are defying your authority. Whether you agree or disagree with their policy position, it should trouble you deeply as part of this institution that a private company can simply veto the policy of this state and block its enactment. Since the current governor took office, he has granted 57 reprieves to 25 defendants. To be sure, he has an unfettered right to grant clemency where he feels that it is appropriate. But he's not done so, nor has he come out and asked this General Assembly to repeal the capital punishment law that he helped author. Of the 114 people currently on death row, 42 of them have no further appeal. There is no reason that they should not have an execution date set. That's more than a third of the people on death row. They have had their due process and more process. They are now due their punishment. My friends, I fear that we are lying to ourselves. By passing this legislation, this committee can provide the means to carry out the law. Alternatively, you could change direction and begin a repeal of capital punishment if you choose. Either way, I encourage you to have the moral conviction to own your principles. The current impasse of inaction demeans the very idea of representative democracy, of the rule of law. Let me be very clear. This dishonorable situation is not the product of the General Assembly. It is a confluence of actions and inactions by multiple players. My message is that while you did not cause this situation of dishonor, you have the means to correct it, and I humbly and respectfully encourage you to do so. Please vote this up or down out of committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.